Hey, all you Yinzers out there, welcome back to DIY and That. Christmas is over and we have survived a deep freeze, so I'm back outside working on the Walker Turner Jigsaw. The last time we did some electrical work to make sure the motor ran properly, because I wasn't able to test that when I bought it. The wires were frayed, and when the seller plugged it in, they said smoke came out of it, so I didn't want to test it. Didn't want to cause a problem for the seller. They were very nice people, so I was pretty sure that they said it ran, and I was pretty sure that it did, and in fact it did. So today I'm going to take care of the next issue, which is the table is loose and it's not sitting level either. So let's take a look at it and see what we can do with it. Now you can see here the table is loose, and it's also not level. It's slanting backwards and should be straight up and down there, or level across there, I should say. And obviously it's not, so we're going to have to see what we can do with it. Initially I couldn't move it because the nut was frozen. I guess some rust got into it. So what I've been doing is hitting all the bolts with some PB blaster, so that when I disassemble it I'm not going to be fighting with it. So let's take a look up under there and see what we can do. So we got what turned out to be a 7/8 inch nut on there. As I said, that was not moving before, so I got it loose. So first of all, let's just see if we tighten it up, if it solves the problem. If it does, then we're in business. Okay. Okay, that's... Alright, if you snug that down good, that resolved the looseness. Now let's take a look at the front to back aspect of it. It is better, but it is still leaning towards the back of the machine. So I think what we can do there are underneath there, I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if I get a better shot. It's bolted to the table and 3 points, and I think what it needs is to be shimmed. So I'm going to loosen that up and put some shims in the two points, the two mounting points closer to the back, and let's see if that will get it level for us. So let me go find some washers to do that. In an absolutely shocking turn of events, the very first Allen wrench I grabbed in order to loosen the blade was the correct one. Most likely there's going to be one of them singularity events, so I suggest you make sure your life insurance is paid up. Now let's go ahead and loosen the nuts underneath. I thought I'd take the table off so you could see. It's easier for you to see what I'm doing here. And one thing that you might find helpful is I just grabbed a container, and everything I take off here, even if I'm going to put it back on in a few minutes, I'm sticking it in there so that I know I am not going to lose that particular item. I just discovered there's actually an adjuster on here which tilts the bracket back and forth. So I don't think we can use that to get it down far enough. It's got two pieces to it. This is the this appears to be the locking part of it. If I can get it back in a hole. Be stubborn on me here. There we go. So that tightens down on on a flange inside the hole here, and this is the actual adjustment part of it. That goes all the way down and touches against the bottom of the casting. So it appears to be all the way down pretty much. I don't think it could go any further. We need to tilt this forward, so I don't think there's enough adjustment on there to do that. So what I'll do is I'm going to take the two rearward nuts or bolts out. So and I'll put a washer on both of these, and if it goes too far we should be able to use that front adjuster to put it back where we want it. So let me grab some washers to find something with a hole big enough to accommodate the bolt. The only thing I have are these real rusty boogers, so we'll clean them up when we do the rest of the disassembly and painting. So let's get this, and there's a lock washer on there. This that didn't look like it was steel. I'm not sure what it is, but it's heavier than I thought. Maybe it is. I mean, it's just a different alloy. It has a slightly different color to it, so I wasn't positive. Let's get this in. Find the hole. That. Just going to snug them because I may have to loosen them in order to use the adjuster to tilt that back and forth, so we'll just snug that up a little bit just to hold it. Put this back in. And let's go put this back on the machine and see if we can get that to sit right. I think there was supposed to be a brass washer behind this nut because it is the steel nut is chewing into the bracket a little bit. So I think that we're going to have to get one of those. I don't have one big enough at this moment, so I'll try not to crunch down on that too hard so we don't run into further problems. All right, well, misplaced the wrench. What did I do? There it is. It's in my pocket. Okay. So this should draw the front of this down, and that should level it up pretty decent. Let's see how we make out. Ah, yeah, there we go. All right. What do we got here? I don't know how well you can see this. It's a little tough, but for some reason, two nuts are not the same size. I don't understand that. inner sleeve there appears to be a slightly different nut than the outer. A little odd. I realized later on that actually is designed that way. The bolt itself, the head on it is smaller than the bolt, the hex on the inner sleeve, and by doing it that way, you can adjust each of those independently without disturbing the setting on the other one. So that gives it a greater range of adjustment. So that wasn't a goof on somebody's part. That was actually designed that way. All right, that is better, but it's still not quite there. I think we're going to need to put more shims in the back. That's okay. I'm not going to keep fooling with it at this moment. I just want to make sure that there wasn't something broken. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but this is the nut is chewing into the bracket. Because as I said, I think there should have been a brass washer under there. I'm still not sure what this casting is. It feels heavier than aluminum, but it may very well be steel. I can't tell. But anyway, it's chewing it up, and that's part of the problem because I can't tighten this enough to get it exactly where it needs to go. So I'm going to just leave it as is. I know that nothing is broken, and that by shimming it, fooling around with the shims, I can get it to go where I need it to go. So I'm going to call that a day on that one. I'll just put this back on here to keep the table from falling off, and we will come back to that later. I didn't think of it at the time, but what I could have done was taken a square and squared the bracket up to the table. This way I wouldn't have had to keep putting it on and off, taking it on and off to put the shims in, and I would have got it where I needed it in one shot. So where we stand at the moment is I know nothing major is broken on it. All the castings are okay. It works. The only thing not working at the moment is the blower. So I had to take it apart anyway to figure out what's going on with that. So the thing to do at this point is to take it apart. So next video we'll start the disassembly, and we'll see what we can see regarding that blower. We also have one other little problem. If you'll recall from the first video, the shaft on the gearbox is it's loose. It's sliding back and forth. So the pulley is not lined up properly with the motor because of that, because it's moving. So we're going to have to see what's causing that and fix that also. But can't do any of that until it's apart. So we've done everything we can with the thing assembled. Next video, we'll take it apart and see if we can address the blower and that the shaft and the gearbox. So appreciate you watching as always. Hope you're subscribing. Like the video if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.